Hey y'all, want to take a quick minute to talk about the unemployment changes as part of the new American Rescue Plan, which was just recently passed by President Joe Biden. This does a couple of things. So the first thing that it does is it extends the unemployment insurance duration, meaning that extra $300 a week for unemployment benefits. It extends that. It was supposed to expire, I believe, March 6th, and I think that's going all the way up until September the 14th, I believe, but it's mid-September that got extended until. So if you're receiving unemployment benefits, that will not expire at early March like you thought it might. It's going to extend beyond there. The next thing, and this is a pretty important one actually, for those of you who potentially are filing tax returns right now, if you drew unemployment at any point in 2020, they essentially made a change to the taxability of certain unemployment benefits. Essentially, up to $10,200 of your unemployment could possibly be considered non-taxable. So this was a change, by the way, that was made retroactive for 2020. So if you're in the process of filing a tax return now, or even if you have already filed and you had unemployment in 2020, you need to reach out to a competent tax advisor, a la Molen Associates, because you may potentially need to amend a tax return or need to change how you're filing. The $10,200 is actually doubled for those who file a married filing joint return, where both spouses are receiving unemployment. So it's up to $10,200 for most folks, but if both spouses happen to be drawing unemployment, then it may be extended up to the $20,400 marker, or 2 times the amount. So that $10,200 will potentially save you quite a bit. But before we talk about what it saves you, let's talk about the limiting factors. Essentially, there is an income threshold at which you don't qualify for the $10,200 exemption from from income on the unemployment. That marker it's $150,000 of adjusted gross income. Okay. Now, I have read the bill directly, and it does not reference whether it's $150,000 only for married filing joint filers or for single filers. So our assumption is if you file a tax return, whether single or married filing joint or married filing separate, that number is $150,000. Now, there may be more information or more guidelines provided on that, but for now, that is what the bill actually says. The second piece of this is there is not a ratable range. And what I mean by that is a period of income at which it slowly phases out that exemption. Now, that's actually pretty unusual for income taxes, because typically if you have $149,999 of adjusted gross income and you just earned $1 or $2 too much, there's usually a ratable portion. Take, for example, the new stimulus that starts at $150,000, and by $160,000 for married filing joint filers, it phases out entirely. That $10,000 cushion, if you will, is a ratable portion where you get a portion of that stimulus. Unemployment, this exemption of $10,200 does not exist. A ratable portion does not exist under the bill, which means if you have $149,999 of adjusted gross income and you have received unemployment, congratulations, you will qualify for the entire $10,200 exemption. But if you had $150,000 of adjusted gross income, you would not. So that's pretty unusual, and I want to make sure and mention that. Just to give you an idea of what type of tax savings this actually entails, if you are in a 22% tax bracket, it's worth about tax savings of about $2,200. Remember, this is about 10 grand we're talking about in savings, so the math is pretty easy there. If you're in a 12% tax bracket, then it's about $1,200. 10% tax bracket, 24% tax bracket, you can do the math. It just depends on what bracket you're in. So if you have any other questions about this or how to actually go about claiming this exemption, then you should reach out to us and let us know. We are always happy to help. Thanks for listening.